Hey guys, this is a very special video and I am so excited to present you a comparative analysis of the top 5 2-star gems in the game. These are the top 5 2-star gems right now in the game. All of them are good and I compared 3 of them in some days ago. And everyone wanted to know the data for Mourneskull and Fervent Fang. But in this video, I'm not only going to compare all 5, I'm going to take it a step further. First, yeah, like I said, I'm going to compare it for all 5. I'll show you the data. And then I'm also going to refer this particular video by Auroth, which says 99% of players are doing it wrong. This is how you evaluate legendary gems. So I want to really highlight things in this video, Auroth has brought some really good points. But I'm also going to share something which might surprise you about this video, right? And the third thing that I want to focus on in this video is a tool. Yes guys, there is going to be an Excel tool linked in the description in which just by entering three numbers from your character, you will be able to calculate the damage of these gems for your character, personalized for your character, right? Just by 3 numbers. So I'm very excited for this video. So we'll go step by step. Everything is going to be timestamped and let's start with Fervent Fang. So Fervent Fang rank 10 says that each time you deal damage to an enemy, the damage they take from you increases by 2.4% up to 24%. So max damage is 24% and with each hit you're going to do 2.4% more damage, right? So how are you going to evaluate this gem, right? It was challenging, but I thought of a very simple way in which you can evaluate Fervent Fang. So guys, here is my Excel tool which I showed in my previous video. A quick recap, a small and quick recap. Suppose you are doing 10,000 damage per second. That is what I have assumed in this particular calculation. So every second you do 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, right? And suppose if you have Crimson Behelit, for 8 of those seconds you are going to do 30% more damage. So here, like I said, Crimson Behelit, you do 3,000 more damage, 13,000 for 8 seconds in a span of 20 seconds. So this is how Crimson Behelit, damage numbers have taken in. And then same for Specter buff, for Specter class. Now for Specter class, a lot of people criticize me saying for PvE, no one uses Feasting Barons and Misery Elixir except for Crusader and Necromancer. Hence I've written it down here and I've also provided you with without those numbers, right? Without the Feasting Barons. And for Pain Clasp, these are the numbers which you will get if you insert Pain Clasp, right? So this is a quick recap. And now moving back to Fervent Fang, let's focus only on Fervent Fang now. So for Fervent Fang, you have to reach 24% damage, right? And say your speed is, your attack speed is slow. And this is going to make a big difference for Fervent Fang. So basically, if your speed is slow, I'm assuming you are going to do 5 hits in first second and next 5 hits in the second. So from 5 hits, you reach from 0 to 12% damage. And in the second you reach from 12 to 24%. This is when you are slow, by the way, keep in mind. So average is 6% for the first second and 18% for the second. And from the third second, you get the full 24% damage boost. And hence I've written 12,400 up to the 20th second, because Fervent Fang the buff never ends once you reach 24%, right? So in this way, it's very nice. And then if your speed is very high, most probably a lot of you, like if you are using dot builds, some of the dots, poison, bleed, those will also add to the ticks of your Fervent Fang. And hence in 1 second, just in 1 second, you will be able to reach 24% damage boost. So let's say on the first second you reach 24%. So on average, you are going to get 12% damage from 0 to 24. The average is 12. So 11,200 and then you reach 24. And in this way, you are going to do damage. And here is the total. If you see the total here, there's 245,600 and there's 246,800. So big damage difference if your attack speed is low. So Fervent Fang is basically made for people who has very high attack speed, right? And this test basically shows that, right? So I'll come to the rankings. I'll show you a lot of other figures. Yeah, just hang on with me. I'll go step by step, right? So this is the figures for Fervent Fang, and same thing for Mourneskull. basically let's look at Mourneskull. It says basically at rank 10, you're going to, when you deal damage, you're going to get Royal Dominion, and this is going to get you, with it you are going to get maximum of 36% damage, and there's also going to be, you know, these wild spirits, right? So for the purpose of this test, I'm not going to consider wild spirits damage, because the formula is going to get too complicated, because it is 12% of base damage and not your overall damage, right? So I'm going to ignore the wild spirits, and I'm going to consider this at the end. So for simplicity, let's say you do 36% damage from Mourneskull, and the duration is 6 seconds with beneficial effect duration. Trust me, it goes up to 11%. I'll attach a screenshot somewhere in the screen here. It can go up to 11%. For you, it might be 10% as well, right? So coming back to the sheet here, for the first 11 seconds, I'm getting 13,600. This is 36% more damage, 10,000, and 36% is 3,600. So you add that, you get 13,600 for the first 11 seconds. Now, be honest with yourself. If you the sheet is going to be with you, right? If you do not have very high beneficial effect duration, just 13,000, just make this the last one 10,000. If you are just, if your Mourneskull lasts only for 10 seconds, just be honest with yourself. Do not cope, guys, do not cope. Anyway, so this is your damage. It comes to 239,600. This is the picture stand alone, right? This is what I have written here. 20-second analysis, stand alone results when you see this gem on a stand alone basis. And this is an incomplete picture, as pointed out by none other than Auroth in this particular video. 99% of players are doing it wrong. So basically the point of this video is, you know, you can compare it one-on-one, that's okay. But, you know, if you have to look a broader picture, and in the broader picture, you know, your character also deal critical hit damage. And what does that mean? So if you look at this, say you do 12,400 and here you do 13,600. Say both of these damage crits. So you are going to do double of these, right? So if you just double all the pain clasp damage and you double all the Mourneskull damage, this difference, you know, here is, you have 2,400, here you have 3,600 at the end. Just there's a difference of 1,200, right? Which Mourneskull is doing more. Now, once you crit, your difference is going to be 2,400 for per second. That Mourneskull is going to do more, and then later it is going to be different, right? And if you just double the, just multiply this with crit, you know, 100%. Suppose the result might be same as pain clasp. So that was his point in this particular video, where he said, you know, it is very important to multiply your damage, whatever your gem damage, with a modifier, the crit modifier. But here I would like to point out, this was his just demonstration. Do not take these numbers in face value. His point was, you know, yes, you are getting crit damage in the first 1 to 10 seconds, where, you know, you are going to do crit because your Roiling Consequence and Mother's Lament are going to proc in the first 10 seconds. And in the next 10 seconds, they are not going to proc, they are going to be dormant, and hence your critical hit chance will become low. Here his second 11 to 20 seconds is showing as 3%. This is just for demonstration purpose. In reality, your gears are definitely going to have at least some base critical hit chance. So if I look at my character here, you know, I have at least 28% critical hit chance. This is never going away, right? It is not going to be 3, right? So you at least have some critical hit chance. It is not going to be 3%. And also I am using Gloom. Some people might use Banquet of Ice, which gives 22.5% more damage. So the real way to calculate this, you know, for 1 to 10 seconds, like he is only considering, like, for the gems, like the first one, there is going to be 42% from Roiling, and for the 11 to 20 seconds, he's considering no gems. Basically, in reality, what you have to do is this. You have to go to your dummy, right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the dummy once, and I'm going to check my critical hit chance. That is going to be my critical hit chance for the first 10 seconds. And there we go, and there we go. And I quickly look at my character sheet, it says 84%, right? This is my critical hit chance right now. It can even be more if you have Berserker's Eye, you know, Specter Glass, whatever. Some other gems also give you some crit chance. This is my critical hit chance at the first 10 seconds, and later, you know, when those gems are not active, I get at least like 44%. Wait, 87. Those gems again got active. I was talking for too long. And now I get 44.2%. So 44.2% is my minimum threshold for critical hit chance in PvE. It can be different for you as well. It is not going to be 3% like shown in the video. That was only for demonstration purpose. So I hope I was able to clarify this. And these are the two figures that you need to look into your character and put that in Excel sheet, and you will get actual data after incorporating critical hit chance and critical hit damage, right? So let's get back to the Excel sheet here. I've added another layer. You know, here there are three squares that are marked in gray. So for first 1 to 10 seconds, I'm getting 88.6%, sometimes with 87. So I've checked it several times. It's 88.6. Whatever it is for you. Maybe you're not using Gloom. If you're using Banquet, make sure to hit the target a few times to get the full buff. So for the first 10 seconds, maybe it is like 60% for you, and for the second it is 30%. Do not write percentage, just write the numbers here. So for example, it is 60 and then it reduces to 35, right? And your critical hit damage, I have written 150. It is minimum going to be at 100, maximum 200. This is the limit set inside the game. So I've taken an average, whatever it is for you, you can put it here, and I've taken an average, and now you get the multipliers for the first 10 seconds and second 10 seconds. It's all this, formula is set, and now you get the numbers after, you know, critical hit chance, and this is the number that you need to look if you want to compare. There's more, there's another layer, but maybe that is not for you. Not everyone has lingering wounds, guys. I don't. Anyways, so yeah, so this is the picture right now, right? So let me get back to the numbers that I have, 88 and 44. So for me, Pain Clasp, earlier here there's ranking, there's formula here as well. Ranking, Pain Clasp was number 1. Second was Fervent Fang, B if my attack speed is low or high. Third was, Specter Glass. But Specter Glass, a lot of people have criticized that, you know, in PvE you don't use Barons and Misery Elixir. In that case, this is going to be the figure. I put that as well. I hope my face is not on the way. 2-star gem, because you will still get 12 the Specter Glass buff for 3 seconds. Your potency is definitely going to be higher than the, you know, target's potency, and hence for 3 seconds you are going to get Specter Glass buff. So it reduces to 230, which means it is worse than Mourneskull, and it's worse than most of the gems, and even Crimson. Crimson is even comes at the last still. And after incorporating critical hit chance, this is the rankings. Number 1 is still going to be Pain Clasp. Pain Clasp is the GOAT, my guys. But there's more about Pain Clasp that I want to talk about. So anyway, incorporating critical hit chance, these are the rankings. First is going to be Pain Clasp. Now see, Fervent Fang, if you have high speed, it is still going to be very good. But you have low speed, Specter Glass overtakes Pain Clasp, overtakes Fervent Fang. So Fervent Fang, if you have even lower speed, it is going to slide even lower. Now for Mourneskull people, you know, a lot of people do not have the setup for Specter Glass. So definitely Mourneskull is going to be the third best after Pain Clasp. Pain Clasp, Fervent Fang, and then Mourneskull, because for a lot of people, you know, this is going to be the figure for Specter Glass. I'll show this, I'll keep this Excel here in front of you. So it's coming 456 and Mourneskull is 489. Fervent Fang is more, right? So this is the true picture for me. It can be different. That's the beauty of this. Say, for example, your critical hit damage is 200%, like Auroth said in this video, and suddenly you will see Mourneskull is at rank 3 from rank 5. So yeah, guys, it all depends on your particular character. From rank 5, it went to rank 3 just by increasing critical hit damage, because the initial 10 seconds of Mourneskull are very important. And if you do high crit, it's going to give you a lot more damage, right? So that's what I'm doing. But suppose you are going to reduce it to 30, and this one is going to be 35, and again Mourneskull becomes rank 5. So if you want to actually evaluate which one is better, Pain Clasp, Mourneskull, it all depends on your other stats, right? So I'm going to again keep it in my stats, this, right? Now the final layer, and that is going to be armor break. Armor break is then another pool, right? By the way, so armor break, so lingering wounds, as per Auroth's video, the highest lingering wounds, the armor break is 38.8. That's pretty huge, man. But not everyone has it, right? So in this Excel, just write whatever armor break you have. Some people have just 12, right? But here is a twist of the turn of events. Sorry, here is the turn of events. From rank 3 or rank 5, you know, I'll again go make it 150. Come on, let's be realistic. I have 150 here. I want to be realistic. So from rank 5, now if I incorporate armor break, Mourneskull becomes rank 1. That's true, guys. This is just mind blowing. So again, if my armor break is not as high as 38, some people have armor break of 13%. Mourneskull is rank 2 now. Pain Clasp takes the lead. So yeah, guys, this is the beauty of this particular Excel sheet. Depending on your character, on the stats that you have, like 38.8, this is the best armor break. I'm just going to keep it like this, right? So in this way, you can see Mourneskull and Pain Clasp, these two guys are just fighting for the top spot, and it is all going to depend on your stat. This is why I wanted to make this video, to make a comparative side by side, you know, comparison of all these 5 gems. In fact, in the last one, this one I have not named it, but this is basically Specter Glass without Feasting Barons and Misery Elixir, and this is not doing so good. If in the end, if you check in the last line, 562, and the only gem that is doing worse, wait, it's doing, yeah. So in the end, if you see, if you are not using Feasting Barons and Misery Elixir, Specter Glass falls to the last rank. Yes, guys, you can see here it is written 562 for Specter Glass, and even Crimson Behelit 567. So yeah, guys, this is very much nuanced, but all of these calculations are done, taken care of. Just check out your crit damage, crit chance, and crit damage, and armor break. If you add all these 3 things, you can do a comparison of these gems all by yourself. So, and now finally we move to the final segment of this video, in which you can play around with this gem. So the most common question that I get is, I am only using Viper's Bite, should I use Pain Clasp? So here, Pain Clasp, you'll see it falls faster than an asteroid falling on the earth. I hope so. You are using Viper's Bite, and only you getting the buff for 10 seconds. So just write here 10,000, you know, your base damage for the next 10 seconds. It's not going to be 12,000. And now you will see the rankings. It has fallen down to 5 in standalone ranking, and in after crit also it is 5, and after armor break it is 5. So from rank 1 it goes down to rank 5. So yeah, guys, that you can play around with this Excel sheet as long as you know what you are doing. If you don't, just change the numbers in the gray one, right, in the gray fields. Otherwise, do not touch it if you don't know what you are doing. So yeah, I've written some FAQs here as well, like if you use only Viper's Bite, should I use Pain Clasp? I'm saying no. Can we use all 5 of these gems? Yes, you can use. These are all stackable. What happens if I don't use, you know, Feasting Barons and Misery Elixir? The answer is secretly written here, or maybe not so secret. What else? If you have low beneficial effect duration, should you use Mourneskull? So say this buff is for 10 seconds, just for the 11 second, instead of 13,600, just write 10,000, and now you will see its score has fallen down. Still it's good. There's not much difference between Mourneskull and, you know, this one. And say if it is even lower, maybe your beneficial effect duration really sucks and you're going to get it only for 9 seconds. And now it is the worst. And now it is the worst. Mourneskull is the worst now. Wow. Crazy roller coaster of emotions going on here, guys. What else? What else we can play around? How else we can? Yeah, so Fervent Fang, you can, your speed is even lower. So you can, 12,400, you can just maybe change this number as well. For Pain Clasp, you maybe, wait, there is last one more thing. So say you have this, the armor break from Lingering Wounds. Realistically, lingering wounds do not last forever, not for every 10 seconds. Maybe this is like 12%. Maybe you are using an essence which breaks armor, like for bone spikes or the exploding palm. And for the 11 to 20 seconds, maybe you are getting 12% armor break there as well. And then you can again calculate. And then in that case, again, there is going to be different numbers, right? So yeah, this is a multi-purpose tool, and it is made for future gems as well, which you can put in the purple column in the end. So let me know if you have any queries left after this. After checking out this, I'll try to answer all of them, but this is going to solve all your queries, I'm pretty sure, and I'm very excited for this. So thank you for watching this video. Let me know. By the way, do not compare 5-star gems with 2-star gems. 5-star gem has higher resonance, so this is not a one-to-one comparison. That's why I did not add blood soaked jade in this particular video. So yeah, point to keep in mind. So yeah, don't add 5-star gems, only 2-star. For 5-star, I am working on something, so hopefully that is ready soon. I can share that with you as well. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like. A lot of effort goes on for this, coloring, especially coloring these cells. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like these types of video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.